All right. Terry News, you say there, talking about the Defense Corporation, but let's talk security business also. And we have two guests in the studio. Let's welcome the Force PRO, Benjamin Hondayin. Thank you very much for joining us, Force PRO.
Good evening, and thanks for having me on the show tonight.
Great. It's good to have you here. We also have Captain Lukman Gidado. He's a retired security officer. Captain, you're welcome to Weekend File.
Yeah, good evening. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, I'd like to start with you, PRO. If you look at the situation we're having in the country, this is not the first time we're hearing citizens' engagement is crucial, but I'd like to hear the perspective of the Nigerian Police Force. How has that, aspect been fed?
Yeah, thank you very much. The fact remains that most of the successes we have recorded as an agency have been due largely to the support of members of those communities. So we do not take the credit alone. We also share the credit with members of the communities. And it's also a fact that communities where people support the police have remained very safe. And that also leads me to the fact, or to talk about the fact that where we have recorded high rates of insecurity, there have been irrefutable evidence that members of those communities actually, give information to criminals. They undermine the efforts of security operatives. So all of these that I've said points to the fact that security actually is not the business of security agencies alone. Yeah. We need the buy-in of members of the communities. We have lots and lots of evidence to show that when members of the communities support security agencies, then the fight against insecurity becomes easier. So I would also like to use this opportunity to call on members of the community to see security as their business and to give every form of support they can, so that insecurity would be reduced as best as we can.
Okay, PRO, we'll get back to you to look at more angle from your perspective. But Captain, I'd like to hear your perspective in the aspect of interagency coordination and, of course, intelligence gathering. You're a security expert, so how crucial is this if we must tackle this? Okay,
the importance of security coordination, interagency coordination cannot be overemphasized, because if there is no intelligence sharing among the security agencies, and the security agencies are struggling for ascendancy, the police is saying I'm superior to the military is saying I'm superior to the police, then we are missing the point. As a matter of fact, all security agencies are working for a common goal, and the goal is to ensure that Nigeria becomes more safer for all Nigerians. Yes, the social contrast theory made us believe that security is the primary existence of government. However, the citizens equally have a role to play in terms of information and intelligence sharing. You now sit down in your community where you are keeping information from the appropriate security agencies. You are not reporting crime incidents to the security agencies, and you are all out there abusing the government, making the police, these other security agencies to look as if they are not doing what is expected of them. Because as a matter of fact, the security agencies cannot be everywhere in the country. We have a whole lot of ungoverned spaces whereby criminal elements are hibernating to carry out their nefarious activities. And there's the popular saying that security is indeed local. So if security is local, the people that reside within this general area whereby criminal activities are being perpetrated equally have a role to play in providing timely and accurate intelligence to the security agencies. And in terms of the security agencies, there's need for all hands to be on deck, for them to see themselves as one, that we are fighting a common cause, we are fighting a common criminal. If a criminal element wants to kill or attack any security agency, they will not look at the police, they will not look at the military, they will not look at the civil defense. because they are all out to attack all forms of security agents. So there's imperative need for all security agencies to come together, or coordinate and foster intelligence gathering towards ensuring that Nigeria becomes more safer for all and sundry.
All right, Captain, I'd like to hold your thoughts there because first PRO, based on what we've had on interagency coordination and intelligence sharing, I'd like to know how the force has been able to engage communities. So we're not hearing as a seasonal engagement when there is a situation, then there's a reactive engagement. How often does the force engage?
Thank you very much. We engage with our communities very regularly. In fact, I would say, if not daily, weekly. For example, there's a show on on Radio Nigeria, for example, every week, every Wednesday, where it's called Police Diary, where and it's nationwide, where we talk to people, people talk to us, and you know, people calling to discuss issues, and we make sure that we have police public relations officers from all over the country appearing on this show. That's just one out of many. We also have what we call the Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC, and this committee meets regularly in every division. I'm not talking about states now. In every state, we have different police divisions, and in each of these divisions, we have the PCRC, and this is a gathering of police officers and members of the communities. When I say members of the communities, I'm talking about even landlords and tenants. So there's a platform where they meet regularly, where they exchange numbers, where they belong to the same WhatsApp group, just to bridge that gap between the police and the people. So talking about community engagement, it's regular, it's continuous, it's ongoing, and it has proven to be very very effective. As people give us information before crime happens. So many people don't even know how many criminal activities we have been able to nip in the bud before it even happens, because it never happened, so they never knew how close they were to danger. But I would confirm again and again that we meet regularly with people online and offline, and it has proven to be very effective.
All right, PRO, I'm sure that is building trust and confidence in the force. But let's take a break. We'll be back. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. We still have the force PRO and Captain Gidado. But let's take this report. Citizens' engagement, we hear, has over the years played significant role in reinforcing internal security across Borno State, working closely with the armed forces to restore peace and stability, especially in communities once devastated by insurgency. Abubakar Musa reports.
Borno State remains one of the areas most affected by the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria, with years of violence resulting in the displacement of thousands of families, destruction of livelihoods, and widespread social disruption. Through the resilience of the people and the sustained efforts of the Nigerian armed forces, significant progress has been made. Strategic approach adopted by the armed forces and the Borno State government, which emphasizes collaboration with traditional and religious leaders, local vigilantes, hunters, and the civilian joint task force, has helped build trust.
When you engage the citizens, the community leaders, the youths, they will tell you more about what is happening in the society.
The Borno model, a community-driven, non-kinetic security strategy introduced in 2021, has further strengthened counter-terrorism efforts.
Here, the community are involved in calling out the insurgent and also providing information. That is why there is nothing that happened here in Borno State that will not get information.
Experts agree that if this collaborative framework is consistently upheld and vigorously pursued, it will continue to pave the way for enduring peace, improved security, and sustainable economic prosperity, not just in Borno State, but across Nigeria's conflict-affected regions. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
Effective security operations rely heavily on building trust, fostering dialogue, and of course, ensuring accountability. Let's hear from Chimaroke Ugu.
Relationship between security agencies and the communities they serve is crucial in maintaining peace and order. In Nigeria, building trust and fostering dialogue are essential for effective security operations. Security agencies' engagement with community leaders, youth groups, and traditional institutions play a significant role in achieving this goal. Engagement with community leaders can help security agencies understand local concerns and develop targeted solutions.
Government should involve the direct communities, the PGs, the traditional rulers, the Igwes. Those are the people that will help mobilize security guards for the neighborhood watch.
And they need to cooperate with the community, with the people living in that society. A situation whereby a citizen will be seen a security agent as an enemy doesn't go well for the society.
Effective engagement requires security agencies to be transparent, responsive, and accountable to community needs. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
I'd like to get back to you. Let's look at the non-kinetic strategy. That's the approach. We know there's civilian joint task force. We have vigilante in communities. How, impactful would you say they can be?
Okay, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, the non-kinetic approach to security will actually address the root causes of insecurity. If you look at the triggers of insecurity, they boil down to unemployment, poverty, and lack of social amenities. And part of what the non-kinetic approach to security issues will address are these triggers. So, and additionally, if the security agents can actually, in the process of enhancing their engagement with the local security framework, in the local communities, you are all aware of the fact that there are vigilante groups and other neighborhood watch. These are the first line scale of defense when it comes to addressing issues of insecurity. They need to be provided with working tools. Most of them just need machetes, they need torchlights, they need rain boots to be able to perform their duty and support the Nigerian police and other security agencies. These are also non-kinetic approach that needs to be looked into. Also, they need to be trained by the police, the DSS, the civil defense on areas where that borders on human rights abuse. Because if they are left alone to just take laws into their hands, it will also defeat the purpose for which they are engaging with the security agencies. So there's need for them to be trained. There's need for them to be trained on human rights abuse and also aspects of working tools that are needed. They need to be provided.
Okay, thank you, Captain. PRO, security dynamics keeps evolving. So how would you say the force is equipping its personnel in the aspect of innovation and, of course, community-driven approaches?
Thank you very much. One thing that remains constant with us is training. We engage our officers in training on a regular basis. Particularly, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has made it mandatory that training must be continuous. And this is to equip our officers with the latest skills and the latest knowledge in policing. And this will improve policing and security generally. There are several reports of our training ongoing. Just yesterday, a set of police officers concluded their training in Lagos. Another set will be beginning on Monday. And the Police Trust Fund is also helping a lot in funding these trainings. It's also instructive to note that developmental agencies, non-governmental organizations, and even international non-governmental organizations are also helping a lot in this regard. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, for example, has been engaging lots and lots of our officers in training. So these are the approaches we are adopting to update our men, to bring them up to par with recent realities in terms of policing.
Okay, thank you, Piero. And Captain, I'd like to get a final thoughts from you. As a security expert, what would you recommend for these two parties, talking about the citizens and, of course, the security operatives, in order to work in synergy for peaceful coexistence?
Okay, for there to be an enhanced security landscape in Nigeria as a country, there's need for the governments and the people to work together. The people should not see security as only the business of the government. They equally have a role to play by providing timely and accurate intelligence to the security agencies. And on their part, security agencies will also be proactive when called upon to come and respond to crime incidents. So if this is properly strengthened, it will go a long way towards making Nigeria a more safer and secured for all Nigerians.
All right, Force PRO, trust is very important, and building that confidence in the force requires a lot of commitment from your angle so that people can trust, I'm talking about accountability also. What are your thoughts?
Yes, thank you very much. There used to be a very wide trust gap between the police and the people. Even though many people would disagree with me, the fact is that that gap is closing up, where people are getting to trust the police more, and the police is getting to trust the people more. And this has been as a result of our work, not just words by saying, "Oh, police is your friend." We have put this into practice. People see it, and it is very essential for us to work collectively. So I do agree with you. Trust is very important. Accountability is also very important. And that's why, as an agency, Nigeria Police Force even created the Complaint Response Unit, not just creating it, putting it in the law, and has been, suggesting that it be put in law, and graciously, the National Assembly approved it. So what I'm saying is, in the Police Act 2020, there is provision for the Complaint Response Unit, which is created for accountability. So talking about trust, talking about accountability, we put that at the forefront of our policing, and it has been yielding results, and we do not intend to stop there. We intend to build more trust and be more accountable to the people, so that security would be very much improved in the society.
Indeed, and like they say, the police is your friend, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Force PRO Benjamin Hundeyin. Thank you for coming on Weekend File, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Our pleasure. Captain Gidado is a security expert. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on Weekend File.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, do your part. I do mine.